Hello there. Today I'm going to do a somewhat strange video on books. Here we have two teacher selves. Both teacher selves are, in this case, Chuck. The only difference is this is the newer edition and this is the older edition. Now, what this video is going to be is basically my opinion. Someone else might have a different opinion than me about this, and plus it might depend on other stuff too. I have read both this book and this book, and I have found that the best as far as teaching methods go is definitely the old teacher self over the new teacher self. Now, don't get me wrong, there are pluses and minuses for both. Like, for instance, I think that the new teacher self has a lot more dialogue in it. I really like the dialogue in the new teacher selves. That's one thing that I will say that's good about it. That's what this does not have. This does not have like a whole lot, well, at least this book does not have a lot of dialogue like this one does. This one has like paragraphs and pages, in this case, check. This one, it might have a few paragraphs in check, but it doesn't go really in depth with paragraphs like this one does. But what this does, with my opinion, that this doesn't do, is it breaks it down easier for me to understand. I don't know if that's like it for everyone, but that's one thing that I've noticed. With different, like, for some reason I find this very confusing. All these dialogues in here, it's just way too confusing for me. But when I read this, it's basically broken down, you know, very simple for me, very easy to understand. And let's see. But I have two of the old teacher selves. I have, as you can see, I have Modern Greek, and I have Czech. As far as the new teacher selves, I have Czech, and I also have, I also have a German teacher self for the new teacher self. These are the only two new teacher selves that I have. Like I said before, this one was a little bit difficult to read. The old Czech was actually very easy to read. This one wasn't. As far as this one, it was hard. This one, it was hard to understand, like the Czech, but it wasn't so hard, because I already had a background in the German language, and I didn't have a background in the Czech language. So I think the modern teacher self is only good for, you know, say if you want to continue learning, you know, the language you already know. Like, for instance, I did not know diddly squat, basically, of Czech, and I started with this book. I had no clue what I was doing. I got this one, and it summed it all up for me, and I got it like that. And like I said before, it all depends on the language too. Like, for instance, I had a lot of friends in high school who took German, so they taught me German, so I did have prior knowledge of German. So my advice is for the teacher selves, if you already know the language somewhat, the new teacher selves are okay to get, but if you're like a beginner starting out, I would not recommend this version. I would recommend. I would not recommend. Yeah, if you're a new. Let me rephrase that. Like, if you're starting out, if you're a beginner with the language, if you don't have any prior experience, I would not tackle the new teach yourselves right away, in my opinion. In my opinion, I would go with the old teach yourself first, start out with that, and then once you got, the basics of the knowledge, which I think this teaches a lot more of the basics than this one does, I would go with this first to teach you the basics, and maybe if you need extra practice after you learn the basics, go basically with this, if you need it to refresh and stuff like that. So anyway, that's basically my opinion on this. And plus, another reason why this is also better than this one is because since these are old versions, these tend to be a lot cheaper. This one I got for I think 20, maybe 19, 20 bucks on Amazon. It was used, and this one I got used. It was only for 8 bucks. That's another good reason why I think these are good. It not only breaks the language down good, but they're extremely cheap to get on Amazon versus this one, which is extremely confusing, I think, and you're going to pay so much more. And plus, the only difference between these two books is the method of teaching. Other than that, it is still the same language. Anyway, that is my opinion on that, and actually I am getting a lot of these now. I'm going to possibly stock up on a lot of the old teach yourselves, and I'm hoping that I can stock up on a lot of them. I recently bought a lot of French stuff because I'm going to be learning French over the summer, and one of the books that I got was the Teach Yourself French of this old series. I got the old series of Teach Yourself French. It should be coming, let's see, the next week or two. So anyway, that's basically my opinion. Someone else might have a different opinion. I know Moses McCormick, he talks about these teach yourselves a lot. Moses does, and as far as which one would be his favorite, I really don't know. I have seen his entire library of teach yourselves, and I know that he has a lot of the modern teach yourselves, and he does have a few old teach yourselves. As far as which one he likes best, I really don't know. I know he made a video of it. I'll probably find it and post it down the link if I find it. But anyway, as far as, like I said before, I think the old version teach yourselves are a lot better than the new teach yourselves that are out there today. And plus, it's not that you shouldn't use the new one. I'm not discouraging the new one. I'm just saying that maybe you should go with the old one first, and then go to the new one if you know very little about the language or just starting out. I would highly recommend the old one, and then use the new one to further your knowledge.